Flosstube! Welcome to this video. My name is Anna and I'm here to talk about cross stitch. Today is Tuesday, November 5th. Happy Election Day to everybody in the US. I am not going to get this video up in time to talk about the importance of voting, so I'll just say that if you wanted to vote in this election, I hope that you had the chance to do that. Colorado has mail-in ballots where every registered voter gets a ballot in the mail, and then you can choose to return that or vote in person. So I returned my ballot, days ago, and today is just a normal work day for me. But I have some time right now to do an update, and we're getting pretty far into November, so I wanted to get up and show you guys what I've been working on. I have notes right here because I have several things to share. I have whips, works in progress. I had a new start that was not totally planned. I have a finish and an FFO. I have an FFO in progress. I'll announce the winner of the giveaway. I don't have any haul this week or this month. Yeah, and then at the end I'll have just like a little life update. I'll probably talk about Halloween with Ethan. And yeah, so let's go ahead and get started with what I've been working on. I have the new start right on top, so I'll start with that. I decided that I wanted to start something Halloween-y, and I decided that I wanted to be a bit smaller, so I went into my collection of magazines and I decided to start Halloween Time, designed by the Witchy Stitcher, and here is what it will look like. This is from Just Cross Stitch magazine, October 2021. I didn't subscribe to Just Cross Stitch then, so I'm not sure where I found this, but anyway, I got a good start on this one. It's still in a Q-snap. Oh gosh. So here are the colors. It does call for some of these sparkly DMC, I think they're called Etoile. Yeah, Etoile embroidery thread. So there are 3 sparkly colors in this. And this is where I got to. So pretty good progress on this one for just, starting it on a whim. I just really like the vintage feel of this one, but then it has like these teal colors that just make it brighter. So yeah, I've got his face and hat, and I started working down this side of his jacket, his coat. He's got like a long coat on, and then he'll have these striped socks. He's got his little Halloween bucket there, and here's a sort of a shoe. So yeah, I started this on a 32 count fabric from Forbidden Fiber Co. I just received my last fabric of the month from them, and I canceled because I have so much fabric, and I was really happy just to go in my stash and find a fabric that would work. It's called Creme Brulee, and I'm really happy with how it's turning out. There is one thing I'm going to change. In the original pattern, there's this bat creature on top, and I don't totally care for this style of bat. So I took an unacceptable amount of time charting my own bat, and I'm not there yet, but we'll see how it goes once it's actually stitched up. I find that I have to draw it. Like, I have to actually use grid paper and color in all of the little pixels. So happy with that new start. And it's not, I might end the year with more whips than I wanted to originally, but I feel like I've done a really good job this year of not starting new things on a whim, and that one's pretty small, and it's from one of my magazines, so I'm happy that I started it. I also worked on my other ongoing Halloween project, Halloween Banner Sampler. Let's see, I can take this out of the hoop real quick. I can't remember exactly what I needed to finish last time, but I think it was probably filling in the pumpkin. Oh gosh, click. Needle minder is trying to be together. Okay. So this is where I got to on this one. How do we do this with the light? That's okay. That's nice and saturated like the actual fabric is. So I worked, let's see if I can keep those needle minders apart. I believe I finished up the orange on this pumpkin. So now both pumpkins are done. And then I also worked on more of the black border. And you can see there's another pair of spooky eyes there that is going to get this this green color eventually. So I'm really happy with that progress. All I have left is there's a big ghost that goes in this area here, and then I was thinking about charting maybe some bats around it. And then this edge, I cut the pattern off, and so I need to decide what kind of what kind of swirly spiky things I want to do along this other edge. So that will be my plan for next year, and then this will be done. So I think that this is, yeah, on the short list to finish next year. So I'm really happy with this. This is on Picture This Plus in the color Jewel. It's also 32 count. And I'm using, for the black, I'm using a pearl cotton. Instead of 2 strands of normal DMC, it's just 1 strand of that thicker pearl cotton. So, yeah, Halloween banner sampler. This is also from a magazine. I actually think I can show it because I also worked on my Thanksgiving project. That's what's next. It's in a project bag I made myself. I have not made project bags in a long time, but since I'm trying to reduce the number of works in progress I have, I shouldn't need many more, right? Okay. I tried to get something more stable so I don't shake the camera, but I think that just using the desk is going to wiggle it. So that Halloween banner sampler is from this magazine, Just Cross Stitch magazine, September, October 2012. But I am also stitching the cover project from this magazine. This, I think it's called Horn of Plenty. And I worked on this corn. So it's still in the Q-snap because, or still in a hoop because I'm going to keep working on this in November. So I'll just show you the part that I worked on. I worked on the corn. It's not entirely done being backstitched yet, but I definitely started some of the backstitch and it really gives it a lot of definition. So I'll also be able to finish the backstitching on this apple and through here because I finished all of this shading down here. So that's where I've gotten to on this one. Let's open it up a little bit so you can see the progress I've had on it. My goal this year is to finish the entire center part and start on the border. So yeah, I'll work on this in November and we'll see whether we meet that goal or not. This is also on a 32 count linen, and I believe this is in raw natural linen. No, it's in vintage country mocha. It's a common one that a lot of people know. So yeah, that's where I got to on the Horn of Plenty. Okay, the last whip that I have to show you is one that I worked on sort of out of season. We took a trip to Ohio in October. I'll tell you more about that towards the end, but I packed up a project to take with me. I decided to take Birds of a Feather, No Bees, No Honey. I ended up not working on it at all for the Ohio trip. Not on the plane, not there. So when I got back from that trip, it was still all like kitted up in my little travel bag. So I pulled it out and did some work on it at home. Let's see, I can actually take this one off the hoop. So this is where it's at. Oh, needle minder is on my progress. So yeah, I worked on more of the words, and I think I took these squiggly bits over to the edge, and I worked on the border down this left side. So yeah, I'm really happy with that border. I decided to do 3 colors in it. It's just purple, light green, and dark green. Yeah, this is coming along. It is still a very brown project, but once I get the letters into the top, it should be a lot more colorful. So this was another one this year that wasn't totally a planned start. So if I push to finish one of these new starts, then I'll end the year meeting my goal of fewer whips than I started with. But like I said, I've been pretty disciplined about not starting things, so I'll be okay if I carry both of these over. They're both relatively small, and this one is really far along, so it'll be maybe on the list to finish next year too. So yeah, it's No Bees, No Honey from Birds of a Feather. So those were all of my whips that I worked on. I also had a finish that I also FFO'd. So here it is. This is Squirrel. Oh, you can see my plants. This is Squirrel by Mariska. It's a kit. I have already finished the rabbit, and now I have the squirrel done. I bought these frames all at the same time, so I just have a stack of them if I decide to do all 6 of these kits. So yeah, I'm so happy with it. He's so friendly and fluffy, and I loved doing the backstitch on the tail, and you can see I backstitched like these moths that were almost invisible before. It's really not a lot of backstitch though, it's just in the squirrel and these moths. There's none in the greenery. And then I just did my initials in the year down there. So this is done in time to be up for November. And then after November, I think it will have a permanent place in Ethan's room, which is like a forest theme nursery. So yeah, I really loved working on this one. I started it in 2022. I don't know what else to say about it. It's enjoyable. I like that it was a kit. There is my fully finished, off the whip list squirrel. I love it. It's great. And I really like the simple frame. And I just laced it around. It came with a mat board, so you can put a smaller photo in, and I just laced it around the mat board and stuck it in. We'll see if that's my screenshot or if it's going to be an awkward face. Okay, the other thing that I worked on is I started the process for fully finishing my Bright Night, the full coverage project that I finished. I had a little hiccup, so I'm going to have to redo it. I ordered a frame, and so I laced this to fit what I thought were the dimensions of that frame. And I should have waited till the frame arrived, because it was just this piece all laced up is just slightly too big for that frame. It fit great height wise, and I could have made it fit width wise, but I would have lost several rows of stitching. And so since this cat comes all the way up to the edge here, I would have lost it on this side probably. And so I just decided I originally wanted to frame it with no mat, and I wanted to avoid a custom frame. So here we are. That didn't work. It didn't fit. So I ordered a bigger frame, same style, and I'm going to restitch this to fit the bigger, or relace this to fit the bigger frame, and then take it into probably Michael's and have them cut a custom mat. And I will show you the frame. It won't get you the full effect, but it'll give you some idea of where I'm going with this. So this is the frame I bought. This frame was not cheap. It was a bit of a splurge to buy this, but this is my first real cross-stitch project. My very first project was a stamped kit from Amazon that I suspect was not licensed properly, and I really enjoyed it, but then this was the first counted cross-stitch project I did, and I kitted it up myself, and I just feel like I should, it deserves a good frame. Even though it's only going to be out 1 month a year for Halloween, I am really happy with it. So you can see the edge, the white is showing, and I just want to take like a black or a very dark blue matte to the edge of the picture. So this is in progress, and hopefully I will have an actual FFO before the end of the year. I do know that this time of year can be difficult to get into the queue for custom framing stuff, but I'm hoping having it be just a matte and I might be able to walk out of the store with it. We'll see. Okay, so that was all of the stitching. Those were my whips. That was my new start. My plans for November. I'm going to keep working on the Horn of Plenty because it's seasonal and I don't have the squirrel to work on anymore. So we'll see how much I can get done on that. I'm also going to pull out my Dimensions stocking because we are expecting snow actually tonight. So I'll probably work on that tonight. I like to work on that one when it's snowing, and then of course during December too. Okay, so that was the stitching. Those are my plans. I do have an announcement for the giveaway winner. Last video I put this up as a giveaway. It's a Dimensions Gold Collection Petites Cozy Glen kit, and the winner of this one was sblazy61. So congratulations. I will comment on your comment. I believe this person talked about how much they liked the squirrel. So I hope you enjoyed that update, and yeah, we'll connect to get this en route to you. I don't have any giveaways for today because I think that next month, between Thanksgiving and Christmas, I'm gonna have a hard time maybe even giving an update, but definitely going to the post office to get that in the mail. So I'm just gonna wait until a later video to do another giveaway. I of course have a stack of things that I'd like to give away, so next time we'll talk about that. Okay, so next I had on my notes here a haul section, but as I said, I did not buy anything stitching related. I thought about sharing some other things that I've purchased, like non-stitching related. I'm not sure anybody is really interested in that. Let me pause and I'll just show you one thing that I wanted to share, and then I'll come back and give a life update. Okay, I'm back. So every year, every summer, my hometown has an arts and music festival, and I mean, you guys know that I try to be thrifty with a lot of the things that I buy, partially because of the thrill of finding it. But when it comes to like craft fairs and festivals, I try to put my money there. I buy things there, you know, full price, and just to support like the arts and the crafting community. And so I wanted to share this year, it's been months now since I got it, but I wanted to share a picture that I purchased at that festival this last summer. It's hanging on my wall in front of my computer most of the time, so I see it all the time, and I just wanted to share it with you guys, especially because I know there are some birders here who like to watch Flosstube. So I will show you the picture. Here it is. So you can see it's pretty big. I mean, they had bigger for sure, but this is a Western meadowlark. This picture was taken in Oklahoma, and I love it. I love the colors. I love the focus on the bird. I love that he's singing, and the thing I like most about it, which might freak some people out, is that he's got like a recent kill on his beak. So there's some blood dripping down his beak, and he's just such a pretty cute little bird with blood on his face, and I love it. I love that part of nature, that it can be kind of intense, but also that's just the way things are. So I wanted to share this. This is from a photographer. Here's his card. Kurt McDaniel Photography. I'm hoping that he's there again, because he also had a lot of great like butterfly photos and that sort of thing, and of course more birds. So I get a chance to talk with him before I bought it, and he said that he told me he was in Oklahoma when he took it, and that he was like in some bushes, and like shooting his camera out, and so that's how we got this like fuzzy effect around the edge. So anyway, since I didn't have any cross-stitching haul, I wanted to share some other artsy stuff that brings me joy every day when I'm at my desk. Okay, so now all I have to share is our trip to Ohio and our Halloween with Ethan. So the Ohio trip was to visit my husband's family. That's where his parents grew up, and so they still have siblings and nieces and nephews, cousins in that area, and they meet once a year for a clam bake. I don't love clams. They did have other food there, but I had never been to this event before, and it turned out to be an actually pretty big event. I think there were around maybe 35 adults and 10 running around kids and several like in your arms babies. So it ended up being a pretty good event, and it was mostly family but also some friends. And the thing that I found interesting about it is that they live outside of Cleveland in a small town. They live outside of that town in a farming area, and all of their neighbors are Amish, which if you're not familiar with the Amish community, it is like please, I'm not an expert on Amish community or Amish lifestyle, so if I say anything wrong, please just, go look it up yourself. But they are a Christian community. They are a pacifist community. And one thing that sets them apart from, the rest of us living our lives is that they are extremely slow to adopt new technologies. So they don't drive cars or motorcycles or anything motorized like that. They still use horse and buggy. Their homes, most of them don't have electricity. They have limited plumbing, that sort of thing. But, as I said, they're slow to adopt technology. So compared with how they lived 100 years ago has changed. Some of them do have a generator to run some essential things for their farming endeavors, for example. So anyway, the point is that they don't have a lot of electricity. They don't interact with the community in the same way. So when we were at my husband's relative's farm, it was silent. It was just peaceful farm country, people driving horse and buggy down the road, roosters crowing in the morning. It was beautiful. I wish I had gotten more photos to share with you guys, but we were chasing Ethan around, and he is fully fast right now, and it was just hard to get my phone out and take pictures. So that was a really great trip. Traveling with Ethan on the plane was tough, mostly because he's too old and too big to just sit in my arms, but he's not quite old enough to watch TV for 2 hours. So we got maybe 20 minutes of screen time before he just lost total interest. And so it was like an active endeavor to take him on this trip. We learned some things about where he's at so that we're more prepared for our Christmas travels, which is great. But I had a friend of mine recently who does not have kids ask me about traveling with kids. And the way I described it is that when you travel with little kids, it is not a vacation. It is an active adventure. You're actively engaged the whole time. It is not restful. It is not recuperating, but it is fun in other ways. Like I said, it's an adventure. So if you were thinking about traveling with little kids, my advice is to look at it as an endeavor, like a quest type of thing, and plan your own vacation on your own. Other than that, we've had Halloween, which, again, Ethan, he's 2. He's like 2 years, 3 months, I think, around there. And so for him, Halloween, last year he didn't really get it. This year he started to understand it by the end, but we had to coach him a lot. Anyway, he loved it. He had a blast. He liked all of the other costumes. As soon as he saw other kids like going up to the porch to ring the bell, he started to pick up on it and had more confidence. So the costume that he had this year was as a trash man. So he dressed up as a garbage man, and he has a trash can that he got for his birthday because he's been into trash for a long time. He's into trash cans, trash trucks, picking up trash, dumping out trash, recycling. He's got very serious ideas about what is recyclable and what is not. He's just so funny. Anyway, he loved it. He owned it, and he's had that trash can for a few months now, so he could work it. He could wheel it and open it and everything. And part of his costume was wearing this high visibility safety vest. So I purchased safety vests for all of us, and so we turned into a trash crew. And it was a very inexpensive, easy costume to do, other than the trash can itself, which was an essential part of the costume. But it had huge impact. We went to trunk or treat in our neighborhood, and people asked to take pictures of us as a family. And we actually got a little trophy for best family costume. And some people put in like real work into their costumes, and all I did was put a vest over my normal clothes. But it was huge impact. And on actual Halloween, the high vis vests were actually a brilliant idea. Thank you. Because I could see him. You can't lose him because he was just wearing this neon vest with striping on it. So yeah, it was tons of fun, and he really loved it. Again, I did not take very many photos, but hopefully I can share a couple of pictures with you guys so you can get an idea of how it worked out. Oh, I also put on my notes here that I've been going hiking. I have a hiking partner. We went to law school together, and we used to work out together, and then our lives took different paths. Now we're back in the same area. So we try to hike about once a week. It'll be tough with the time change now, but I'll hopefully just pop in a few photos of some of the hiking that we've done around here, just really close to home, and how beautiful it is, and all the fall weather. Now we're getting ready for that winter storm potentially. So, winter is here, I think. Anyway, I've been rambling for a while, so I'm gonna go, and hopefully I will have another update for you guys soon. Happy stitching. Bye.